Asylum seekers are always in the headlines, and the reasons are not always very nice reasons. Most of the reasons are where people are hating asylum seekers or generally hating the immigrants. And the idea behind that is that everybody is so wound up about it, and there's such a stoking of emotions against immigration, especially by the ever-present Mr. Nigel Farage, who loves to talk about immigration as if that is the root cause of all problems. According to him, of course, traffic, NHS issues, school issues, any economy issues, everything is because of immigrants. But nobody understands that these are the people who come in and take care of the most common services that are provided to us. And these are the reasons why immigration is important. Now, the reason I'm talking today about immigration is not because I want to talk about what Nigel Farage is saying or what anybody else is saying, but because there's been a recent case that I had dealt with, and today we've got a decision for that, and that's been a success as well. And I wanted to speak about this particular category because this is something that affects a lot of people. What am I talking about today? Asylum seekers in general, and in particular, I'm talking about those asylum seekers who had claimed asylum as homosexuals or gay men, or even as homosexual women or lesbian women, who can then say that we are in relationships and we want to bring our partners over, or even when there are children around. So this gentleman that I'm talking about, we were just speaking on the phone a while ago, and he was absolutely over the moon because he had got his refugee status. He had claimed asylum as a gay man. He got his refugee status, was successful in that. But then as situation changed back in his country, family pressures, this and that, whatever happened, he had to get married. He got married, he has children now, and he wanted to make sure that those children and his wife join him in the UK. Now, when he went to other lawyers, he came to me for a consultation, and I told him that yes, it could be done. And he said, well, everybody else I've been to has said that this will be suicidal, because how can I as a gay man have a wife and children? And I said, well, that's not something for them to say. That's something for the law to decide. And that is something that we can argue within the law. So we did that, and we did the application, and the application has been successful, and everybody's been granted status. So this is just a reason for sharing this, is because people are sitting there afraid. One of the things they're afraid of, that if I claim that I have a wife and children in my home country and I claimed asylum as a gay man, the first thing that will happen is that the Home Office will come after me and say, well, if you were a gay man, you could not have had a wife and children, and therefore you have defrauded us, and we are going to cancel your visa and cancel your refugee status and all of that. In all the cases that I've been dealing with, or that I have been taking care of, where there have been homosexual people or same-sex relationships, all that, I have never had any problems, because I don't listen to what the narrative is. I don't listen to what people are talking about. I only work with what the law says. The law does not say that if you're a homosexual man, your partner cannot apply with you. Simple as that. And if there are questions that need to be answered, instead of getting those questions answered when they have been raised from a refusal letter, deal with it before. Deal with it during your application. And that is what we like to do. And that is where the success comes in. So for all those people who have claimed asylum, or on the basis of claimed asylum on the basis of being homosexuals, or even gay men, whatever the situation may be, you can make an application to bring your partners over. So if you do fall within these circumstances, of course, I'm not going to say that this is true for every single case, no matter what the circumstances. There is a certain set of circumstances that can help you allow your application to be successful. So that is what we're talking about, and that's what we're looking at. I've not even had to go into appeals for these matters, because we've been able to deal with them quite succinctly and quite well. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about, and this is what people are afraid of, and I get this question asked all the time: Rwanda. How bad is Rwanda? What's going to happen with Rwanda? Now, the way things are going, in the next 10 days or so, there's going to be a seismic change in whatever happens in the UK. We expect there to be a change of government, and this Rwanda nonsense will hopefully go away with this Tory party government that has destroyed the country for the last 14 years. I'm not a political person. I'm not politically motivated, but I do think. Unfortunately, that's something that comes with the training as a barrister or as a solicitor. You have to think. And when you think, and when I see all this rubbish around me, it just sometimes gets a bit too much. So my wife is absolutely sick and tired of me talking about politics or talking about all of these things that are wrong around us. But I sometimes wish to just share with the people that do listen to my videos and do listen to what I say, legally speaking, and just add this little bit. This whole thing that has happened with the Tory government about Rwanda and about the all the changes in the rules and whatever, there could be changes when the new government comes in. So there is nothing set in stone. I also say always that there has been now since 2007. Now look at that. Since 2007, we're looking at 13, 16, 17 years that no amnesty, no policy has come in where any kind of regularization takes place for people. I think the last one was that legacy exercise that was that took place in 2007. And since then, there have been a lot of influx of people, a lot of people who have become overstayers in the UK, either because of legal reasons or because of their own mistakes or because they've had dodgy lawyers or agents dealing with them. So whatever the reasons, if you are one of those, I would strongly suggest, if you are an overstayer in the UK and you don't have any applications pending at this stage, please put in an application. There is no point staying in the country without an application pending with the Home Office. Tomorrow, just imagine if the government changes, the new government comes in, they want to bring stricter laws for immigration. They want to make things tight because nobody's going to say, oh yes, let's just bring everybody into the country. But at some point, they will need to look back and see how much of a mess there is, how many people, how many thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are in the country illegally who need to have legal status. Now, those people don't live off air just in terms of their bills or their food or anything like that. So they work. They do something, they work cash in hands, or they do something which could be something that goes into the economy. So instead of having this black economy running parallel to everything by closing your eyes and saying, no, we are not going to acknowledge the existence of immigrants, instead of doing that, tell them you can't have benefits. Tell them you can't have access to public funds or anything like that. You need to work. And that's it. You need to work and you need to pay taxes and you need to afford your life in the UK. And that's it. No benefits or anything like that. If this is something that the immigrants are told, I bet there would be such a better use of the resources that we have in the UK. Give it to people who really deserve them, not to people who are just coming into the country who do not have any benefit systems in their own countries. They don't come here expecting to be looked after. They come here expecting to work hard. And if you're allowing them to work hard, allowing them to create lives for themselves, they'll be beneficial for themselves and they'll be beneficial for the country. And that is where the immigration policies should go. Rather than banning everything like Mr. Farage is saying, Mr. Farage wants to go for a net zero, which is 2 people go out of the country, 2 people are allowed to come in. That is absolute rubbish. What's going to happen to everybody who's sitting in the country, who's not doing anything? 9 million people are sitting on benefits. So those people, are they going to leave the benefits, get into training, get to be doctors and nurses and lawyers and engineers and whatever not, and then start working and leaving the benefits behind? I don't think so. So what you need is a realistic immigration policy where people come in, people are allowed to come in. Don't let them have benefits. Don't let them have access to all public funds. No need to. Get them to work. Get them to work, get them to earn a good living for themselves and pay their share of taxes so that they are contributory members of the society rather than these horrible mutants that the government or the politicians have created. These are not mutants. These people are hardworking, genuine people who just want a better life. And if the world is really becoming a global village, then this is the time to welcome them, not shun them. But anyway, this is something that I didn't want to, but still this political element of my thoughts has come out today. I'm happy to share it just because it's part of me. And I share everything with you guys here, my successes, my losses. This is a success today for this homosexual man who had to get married in Pakistan, get a wife and have children. And now he's been able to get their visas to get them to come over to the UK and live with him. I hope this helps and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.